Hello and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. It's me, Jitch, and you are watching Monday Night Raw.
Making his way to the ring from Marietta, Georgia, weighing 223 pounds, the United States Champion, Cody Rhodes.
We are kicking things off here tonight with a rather unusual matchup, but after failing to become WWE Champion last night at Hell in a Cell, Hulk Hogan has said that perhaps it's time he set his sights on something else. Something like the United States Championship. So here tonight, Hulk Hogan is going one-on-one with the US Champion Cody Rhodes. This is a non-title match, but of course Survivor Series is coming your way in 3 weeks, and well, if you can defeat Cody Rhodes tonight, then maybe he can be in line for a US Championship opportunity at Survivor Series. We do know that, speaking of the NWO, tonight they will be defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Shawn Michaels once again after Michaels targeted Scott Hall last week on, well, the last episode of Raw. It wasn't last week. So there will once again be some kind of matchup. They've been willing to put their tag titles on the line. Well, this guy, I gotta be honest, I really thought perhaps was finally gonna win the WWE Championship for the first time inside Hell in a Cell, but The Rock managed to overcome both Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin in one of the most vicious triple threats I've seen in a while. However, it was what happened moments after that I think has been the talk of the town as far as everybody's concerned, which is Randy Orton cashing in his just won Money in the Bank briefcase on The Rock to become WWE Champion, bringing things full circle after that's how The Rock won his first WWE Championship from Randy Orton, no less. It really was a night of poetic justice, so to speak. But I do wonder now what the future holds for The Rock, suffering a bit of a concussion from that punt kick. It was a shocking outcome that nobody saw coming. We know that The Rock will be taking a little bit of time away here tonight, though. Someone has stepped up to challenge Randy, which I'll get to in just a minute. That's right, as you may have already seen from the main event of the card, Dolph Ziggler took personal offense with the fact that Randy Orton not only stole the Money in the Bank briefcase out from under superstars that belonged here in the WWE Championship picture, like Antonio Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler. That's right, now Dolph Ziggler is apparently an advocate of Antonio Cesaro. I guess he just really doesn't like Randy Orton coming here and taking that top spot. So he's challenged Randy Orton, non-title, one-on-one. That's our main event tonight. Dolph Ziggler, who claims to be the uncrowned Mr. Money in the Bank 2 times over now, says he was robbed twice. We'll see about that. We'll see if Dolph Ziggler can defeat the new WWE Champion, Randy Orton, tonight. There's no telling who's going to be challenging for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series. All we know is Rock will not be cleared to compete that quickly. You know, a vicious Hell in a Cell triple threat match against two of the very best to offer in the entire WWE, and then taking an RKO and a punt kick, no less, afterwards. It's safe to say Rock will be out of action for quite a while. I think after such a great run as WWE Champion, though, not that he's going to want it, but I think it is a warranted break from action, at the very least. I think Rock really has proved himself to be one of the very best. 210 days he was WWE Champion for. Arguably one of the most longest consistent reigns with a championship we've ever seen here. Now Cody Rhodes really taking it to Hulk Hogan. Cody overcame Dolph Ziggler, sorry, not Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan and Bryce Walker in a tag team matchup alongside Kofi Kingston to retain the US and European championships. And I'll be right back. And we are back. Sorry about that. I had a important collection I was waiting on that. I had a weird feeling as soon as I started recording that's when it would happen, so. Or should be the only interruption I get, though, this episode. Anyway, what was I talking about before? Cody Rhodes and Kofi Kingston managing to retain their titles, and, well, it's turned out that Cody is now Daniel Bryan free at the very least, as Bryce Walker has said that it's time for him to set his sights on the European Championship, and he will be doing that once again at Survivor Series. However, he's going to have some stiff competition because we've got a 6-man inter-brand battle royal coming your way at Survivor Series for the European Championship. There'll be 3 superstars from SmackDown and, of course, 3 from Raw, one of which will be Kofi Kingston. Daniel Bryan and Bryce Walker will both be in qualifying matches tonight to determine who will be next in line for the European Championship. They could both end up in that battle royal, or neither of them could. As here comes Scott Hall. I tell you, I'm sick of the NWO. Cody, what are you doing? Why did you get in the ring just to act upset? Do something about it then. Oh no. Here comes Yokozuna. I don't know why the sight of him running through the crowd like that tickled me so much, but it did. I guess he's got some unfinished business with the NWO, specifically the leader Hulk Hogan, who is clearly trying to cheat a victory over Cody Rhodes through some outside interference. Launches Hogan back into the ring. Cody Rhodes got that cradle DDT a second ago. Normally means he's one step away from hitting that big crossroads. And here comes a submission hold from Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna. Breaking that up. And chanting for Cody. Hulk Hogan striking away on Cody Rhodes. Hogan, who has challenged many times for the WWE Championship. Definitely an up, I'd say he has, over Cody. Cody has never challenged for the WWE Championship, to my knowledge, to my memory. I don't want to say that as like a stone cold fact, because then I'll be wrong. But to my understanding, he has never challenged for a WWE Championship. Who knows how he'd do? We've got Scott Hall and Yokozuna fighting on the outside for some reason. Scott Hall set to defend his tag team titles later on tonight against Shawn Michaels and a mystery partner. That partner might be Yokozuna, as a matter of fact. Oh my god, Scott Hall. Scott Hall. I'm sorry, but I gotta see this. Jesus! Oh no, on the steps. On the steps! On the steps! Oh! Well, I think it's safe to say Yokozuna will not be Shawn Michaels' partner tonight. If Yokozuna is even able to... he's fine. No, there he goes. I think it's safe to say Yokozuna will not be getting involved in tonight's tag team title match, whether that was the plan or not. Big boot by Hulk Hogan. And here's a cover on Cody Rhodes. Has Hogan put away Cody? Yes. Well, this is unfortunate for Cody Rhodes. But there's the result. Hulk Hogan with a big boot, picking up the victory, and I've got to say, no doubt, earning a US title opportunity. Well, there is no telling when that United States Championship opportunity will come. I'd have to imagine in a few weeks' time at Survivor Series. I believe we've got just 2 more Raws in between now and Survivor Series. It's quite a shorter build for this one. But Hulk Hogan just pinned the United States Champion. What a horrible, horrible sight. I, for one, am very upset about this. As we now move on to our next match here tonight, I believe we'll find out up next if Bryce Walker or Heath Slater, that face, good lord, will be entering the European Championship Battle Royal. Well, here we go. Heath Slater on his way to potentially getting a European Championship opportunity. As I said before, we got a 6-man Battle Royal coming your way at Survivor Series, which will feature Kofi Kingston defending the title against 2 Raw superstars, as well as 3 SmackDown superstars. That'll, of course, be a Universe traditional Battle Royal of pinfall submission only, not the silly over-the-top rope type that takes like 2 seconds to finish. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup. One of those rare occasions where you actually get to see Raw up against SmackDown. Such a stacked match. And of course, Survivor Series is a very special occasion because that will mark the 4th ever Survivor Series in the series. That was a funny line to say. And exactly 3 years since the series began. Even though I've been doing it for 4 years.
And approaching the ring from New York, Bryce Walker.
Well, it's like someone has decided that they have outgrown the Daniel Bryan look. Mr. Big Shot over here really laid Daniel Bryan out to close out of their matchup at Hell in a Cell. Bryan, who seems to be trying to get the fans on his side recently, seems to be trying to embrace the yes chants. And I guess Walker wanted nothing to do with that. He seems to be in good spirits tonight, despite getting rid of his mentor. I guess now it's his time. So here we go. Of course, there is naturally a size difference. One of the main things that always interests me about Heath Slater is a lot of people think about this guy. They think, oh man, what a schmuck. You know, a lot of people think about like the fact that he hasn't always had the best run, but a lot of people forget about the size advantage Heath Slater has against most opponents. He's very large. Heath Slater is a very large guy. I know Bryce Walker himself isn't exactly the biggest guy, but Heath Slater outsizes a lot of people, especially back when he was Cruiserweight Champion in that whole division. He was quite the giant compared to most others in that division. This ought to be an interesting matchup. Daniel Bryan also setting his sights in the European Championship just to spite Bryce Walker, and he'll be facing off against Antonio Cesaro up next, as a matter of fact. Be interested to see if both Bryce and Bryan can qualify, or if neither of them can qualify. What happens then? No word yet on the SmackDown qualifiers. I believe they'll be starting this Friday on SmackDown as well. Of course, we've got new World Heavyweight Champion Mark Henry set to make his first appearance as the new champion. We really hit a kind of a refresh on the landscape of the entire series over the past week-ish. Because technically there was a 2-week gap in between. You know, over on NXT, not too long ago, we saw new tag team champions in the Primetime Players. We also saw Biggie Langston on the most recent episode of NXT finally dethrone Andre the Giant to become NXT champion. And then over, you know, you talk about the superstars here on Raw. Yeah, Cody Rhodes is still the United States champion, and the NWO is still the tag team champions. We got new Divas champion AJ Lee at long last, and a new WWE champion Randy Orton making his return to Raw after 1 year of being away from this brand. And I want to remind you all that Randy Orton was he was forced off of Raw. He didn't retreat. He didn't cower. For those that don't recall, or maybe you weren't here back then, you know, for any kind of need of context, which I mean, maybe I'll save more for the main event, but I will just say, you know, The Rock was initially associated with the Raw General Manager at the time, Mr. McMahon, and, well, he wasn't, I believe, actually. Or maybe he was. I think it was kind of a gray area. I know Randy Orton was associated with McMahon, and McMahon betrayed Randy Orton to have The Rock cash in on Randy, as if it picked like a new guy to represent him. And for McMahon and Rock's safety, Randy was moved over to SmackDown. He hasn't been back on Raw since, and the very first opportunity he gets, Randy Orton shows us that over the last year and 2 months, 14 whole months, Randy Orton has not let that leave his mind, and he took the first opportunity to come back here to Raw and reclaim his WWE Championship. And I can't wait to see him with that title once again here tonight. Bryce now looking for his finishing move. And that's, ooh, pen to paper. That's got to be it. That's got to be the end of this matchup. Heath Slater dropped flat on his neck. And Bryce Walker, with ease, qualifies for the European Championship Battle Royal. That was quite a dominating performance from Bryce. I got to give him a lot of credit here. Maybe he was onto something, saying that Bryan is beneath him. You know, Bryce has a point in a way. I don't like admitting it, but what kind of mentor, what kind of role model is Daniel Bryan when the guy himself has never actually won a championship? I mean, he was hardcore champion once, but that doesn't really mean very much. Well, anyway, Mr. Big Time here, Bryce Walker, feeling very proud of himself with this victory over Heath Slater. He's one step closer to the European Championship. I'll tell you what, Bryce, if you don't win it at Survivor Series, you'll have no one to blame but yourself, because each man has to be eliminated from that Battle Royal. But congratulations to Walker on the win. We'll see if Daniel Bryan will join him up next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Switzerland, weighing 232 pounds, Antonio Cesaro.
I do apologize for how quiet the audio has been for the first part of this. I forgot to turn it back up after playing some stuff on the other channel. The PS4, which is a notably louder console than everything else. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. Anyway, Antonio Cesaro comes out here tonight, and I believe the overall feeling for this man right now is that morale is, well, it's at an all-time low. Antonio Cesaro, unfortunately, is no longer in possession of the Money in the Bank briefcase, which was a guaranteed shot at the WWE Championship. He now takes a step back, very, very far back, might I add. Antonio Cesaro, for those that don't know, is among the bottom 3 right now when it comes to rankings on Monday Night Raw. So he's obviously not dealing with the loss at Hell in a Cell very well. But I will say this, he can bounce back. The fans actually cheering for Daniel Bryan. Is he not going to yell no? Oh! He's embracing it. They're not chanting it anymore, but he's embracing it. Daniel Bryan. I mean, his jacket still says no, but Daniel Bryan is finally on board again. You know, the funny thing is that chant only started because they were doing it along with Daniel Bryan when he used to yell it on the way to the ring obnoxiously. It caught on, the fans started joining in, and then he started hating that. What a guy. Well, I gotta think, you know, Antonio Cesaro is someone who right now is on the brink of potentially losing his place on Raw. If this keeps up, he could end up down on NXT, you know, if he loses like an EYS match or something. I mean, right now he's not at the very bottom of the Raw rankings. He is going for the right target. The European Championship could be a great way to revitalize his career. I feel like we haven't seen him and Jack Swagger as a team for quite a while either, actually, now that I think about it. Swagger had a little bit of a career resurgence not too long ago. He damn near won the United States Championship. Unfortunately, he came up short on that, and that kind of was the end of it. Wait a minute, is my sound out of sync? I think it is. Oh. Or maybe not. I think the sound effects are always a little delayed on this. Oh no, those are definitely... Yeah, that is definitely a little out of sync. Hang on a minute. I think I know why. That ought to fix it. Whoopsie.
I have a strong feeling that these guys will throw caution to the wind and just go full steam ahead. Oh, what do you got in mind?
Maybe it's just going to keep being out of sync. I don't know.
That suplex was picture perfect.
Yeah, the sound effects seem like they're a little behind. It's really weird. They're like a half second behind. What's that all about? I don't know why that's happening. Oh, that's so weird. I don't want it. What if I do this? Nope. I don't know. I'll fix it some other time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, for Daniel Bryan, this is about potentially winning his first ever singles championship. Antonio Cesaro, you know, when he first started his rookie year here, he was a great ECW television champion. A lot of people don't remember that at this point, understandably so, but he was once ECW television champion. He came here to Raw, lost a unification match between that and the Intercontinental title. Obviously, the Intercontinental title was the only one that was going to remain. And I do feel like he's just kind of had a tough time since. Daniel Bryan has not exactly been blessed in his own right, from his failed tag team with Dolph Ziggler to his failed companionship with Bryce Walker, and now it comes to a point where it's like, well, what exactly is the deal with Walker? I mean, he was brought to Raw under the impression that Bryan would tutor him, you know, and it seems as though Bryce has now abandoned that. Does that technically mean he shouldn't be here on Raw anymore? Maybe he should go back to NXT, I don't know. I guess they already made the trade though, because Brodus Clay was the one that was exchanged. So I guess in a way he kind of can't unless we brought Brodus back. And I don't think we need to do that. I think it's okay. Oh, sorry guys. You know how this guy gets. He gets really into those kicks. Cover attempt here by Daniel Bryan on Antonio Cesaro, and that's a kick out. And Daniel Bryan now into the label lock. He's got that locked in, and Cesaro was right near those ropes. Two very gifted in-ring competitors right here, giving it everything they've got for a shot at Kofi Kingston's European Championship. One of these two will join Kofi and Bryce Walker in a six-man battle royal. Daniel Bryan sending Cesaro flying across the ring. I believe I do actually have some news sent, you know, over the pipeline, so to speak. I've been told that we do have confirmation on European Championship Battle Royal qualifier. There is a couple here, as a matter of fact. So first of all, we'll be seeing Fandango and Ryback. Hold up. Okay. Fandango and Ryback in a rematch after Ryback ended Fandango's winning streak. Those two will be facing off in a European Championship Battle Royal qualifier. Cover attempt here by Cesaro, and Bryan is able to kick out. We'll also be seeing Robert Scorpio up against JBL in a qualifying match for the European Championship Battle Royal. That leaves one more space open on SmackDown that is to be determined. But it ought to be pretty interesting to see who ends up occupying those spots. So it could be Fandango, Ryback, Scorpio, or JBL. Two of those four will be in. Belly to belly by Antonio Cesaro, and a cover attempt here on Daniel Bryan. That's just a two. Oh, I need to turn back on the setting I just had because it's getting all choppy again. One moment. I thought changing my settings was going to fix it, but it didn't. So. Fans chanting in support of Daniel Bryan, and I guess that's too little too late for Daniel Bryan. He will not be joining Bryce Walker in that European Championship match. But Antonio Cesaro, well, I guess this is a little bit of a bounce back from losing his briefcase. It's not the biggest. It's not the most defiant. But, well, it's his. Did I can guarantee this match will be discussed heavily on WWE.com. WWE.com. Don't go there. You won't find any information about this match or any other match that happens in this series. If you do, it's purely coincidental. Anyway, Antonio Cesaro picking up a big victory over Daniel Bryan. As we move on to our next match here tonight, I believe the new Divas champion AJ Lee is in action next. Well, she vocalized quite the disdain for AJ Lee becoming Divas Champion. Aksana, of course, is one of, unfortunately, quite a lot here on Monday nights to have picked up a victory over AJ Lee in the past. And so here tonight, she looks to pick up another one and immediately propel herself into contention for the Divas Championship. Well, I said it like that. Aksana is one of the least successful women in the WWE right now. She's been at the bottom of the Divas Championship rankings for months. Only ever having won, I think, 1 or 2 matches. We'll see if she can get some momentum rolling for her tonight with a victory over the newly crowned Divas Champion, AJ Lee.
And approaching the ring, the Divas Champion, AJ Lee.
It was a humongously... Wait, that's not the word I wanted to say. It was a hugely, that's the word. Hugely emotional moment for AJ Lee 1 year later to finally win the Divas Championship. She lost that title to Beth Phoenix, I believe it was. Or maybe it was Lita, I don't remember. But it was very shortly after winning the championship at the 2011 Hell in a Cell. She won it again at the 2012 Hell in a Cell. Will history repeat itself for AJ Lee? I hope not. Michael. Well, Aksana tried going for a big right hand and got nothing out of that. Aksana now getting very heated with those strikes. And AJ Lee and Aksana. Is this even... This is feeling a little personal here.
This could be big.
A great takedown there by AJ Lee. Aksana, why do you say it like that?
She's able to handle this. Oh, geez. These competitors are so
AJ.
evenly matched, I wouldn't even begin to guess at this point.
AJ kind of having a bit of a blank moment there. It was a humongous victory over I keep trying to say Sasha Banks. Who's that? Over Summer Rae. It was a huge victory over Summer Rae at Hell in a Cell. Summer Rae seemed undefeatable as the Divas Champion. It really came as a huge surprise, but it was a great feel-good moment to see AJ Lee finally defeat Summer Rae for the Divas Championship. And there's the Shining Wizard, knee to the face on Aksana, and the Divas Champion with a very strong and decisive victory. Classic 2012 WWE Divas match right there. No, it didn't end in a roll-up, never mind.
Here is your winner, AJ Lee.
Well, AJ gets a very quick victory over Aksana, and I guess it just goes to show that the AJ that Aksana defeated seems to be finished. We're finally getting a momentous AJ Lee. How long does this go on for? Oh, okay. As AJ Lee picks up a victory, we now move on to our next match, one of the most anticipated matches tonight. The WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line. Shawn Michaels and a partner of his choosing will face off against the NWO once again. He's tried competing against these guys so many times, he will not let this rest. We'll see if perhaps it can become brought to an end tonight.
WWE Tag Team Champions, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the New World Order.
Well, earlier tonight, their leader, Hulk Hogan, was victorious over the United States Champion, Cody Rhodes. Yokozuna got involved there, and I have a feeling he may have been the man to try and help Shawn Michaels tonight, but unfortunately, he was put on the shelf. We're told that Yokozuna suffered some very serious injuries being hit with the razor's edge on those steel steps. I'll tell you, Scott Hall is a ruthless man, and I want to remind you once again that since coming here to Raw, he has not lost a single match. These guys seem untouchable. I really can't get over how those belts actually look like championships compared to what they were wearing before. It's crazy. Those other tag titles, they don't look prestigious at all. Well, these guys, 100+ days as champions. Well, here comes the challenger, and I wonder what he's got up his sleeve. We apparently lost our feed. Please bear with me for a moment. Our feed has been cut. See the Raw logo here. Oh. Okay. Who's that? I don't remember. Oh! Oh! Well, this is a big deal. Oh my God. That is a good point made by Shawn Michaels. I'll get into that in a second. There we go, finally.
At a total combined weight of 474 pounds, representing the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, for those that don't know, the last guy to defeat Scott Hall was back when he was Razor Ramon. It was a EYS match in qualifier. Roman Reigns made his debut by defeating Razor Ramon. And that's what brought us the Shield as a whole. This is big. Yeah, just so it doesn't take forever. So we're starting things off, Roman Reigns and Kevin Nash. Shawn Michaels, a very interesting choice here tonight. You know, the Shield have never actually set their sights on the tag team titles prior to tonight. Initially, the Shield were the front runners to go for the NXT Tag Team Championships, but they left NXT before that tournament concluded. I believe at the time it was actually Rollins and Ambrose. We hadn't actually seen Roman Reigns yet. Roman Reigns, as I mentioned before, his debut match was defeating Razor Ramon to immediately leave NXT alongside his Shield brethren, which in turn brought NXT the reign of terror that's been the Nexus. And this is a first-time collision here tonight between the NWO and the Shield, and it's for the tag team titles. Now, the last time a member of the Shield contested for the championship, it was Dean Ambrose for the United States title, and he was unsuccessful in defeating Cody Rhodes. Are Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins prepared to go to war for the WWE Tag Team Championships here tonight? Because they are up against the very elite, I would say, the very best of the best when it comes to tag teams on Monday nights right now. I'd say the only team that I'd say in the entire business right now that gives these guys a run for their money potentially is Edge and Christian, just because of the history between those two. And obviously now that they're the World Tag Team Champions as well, I'd say those two are on top of the world. Speaking of Edge, this Friday on SmackDown, he risks it all because he is setting foot in the ring with the new World Heavyweight Champion Mark Henry to avenge the injuries done to his mentor, a man he has so much respect for. Of course, talking about Bret Hart. And I tell you right now, the Shield are doing a great job of singling out Kevin Nash. It's not Kevin Nash who's a threat, and the last time these two faced off, this man's name wasn't even Scott Hall. Powerbomb there by Roman Reigns. It was an impressive debut match back on NXT, no doubt about it. And it's just real interesting to see this kind of come full circle here tonight. I was just talking as the NWO made their entrance about how no one really seems to be able to defeat Scott Hall. Well, who better than the man that last beat him? That's it now. Roman Reigns. Don't have unified titles. Shut up. Dean Ambrose has got to stay out of this one. Interestingly enough, I noticed Hulk Hogan not at ringside for the NWO. A little bit of a numbers disadvantage here, I'd say.
Man, this is one of those matches you just like to sit back and enjoy watching.
Scott Hall really laying into Roman Reigns with each one of those right hands. And Roman, I mean, Kevin Nash may not be the legal man, but the more damage you do to him, the less likely he is to get involved. I do understand the strategy here, and oh, what a Samoan drop. It looks like Seth is begging for the tag.
Tag team championship at stake.
And another one.
And he gets the tag.
Tag made to Seth Rollins. Should be quite the changing of the guard tonight if the Shield were to win the tag team titles. Definitely come a little out of the blue, but not necessarily a bad thing. Rollins measuring here as he goes for Avada Kedavra, I believe that's called, and a big kick to the face of Kevin Nash. Is it enough to get the job done? No. And it's going to take a lot to put these guys away, I'll tell you that now. On both ends. I will say right now, the spry, agile, young superstars are definitely thriving against the veterans.
Incredible counter. Too slow. Look at this.
Uh-oh. Kevin Nash going in for a jackknife powerbomb. Down goes Seth Rollins. And into the cover. Is it over? No. Seth Rollins still has a lot of fight in him. That jackknife, that would put some ordinary guys away. Shield aren't ordinary. And it looks to me like Seth really welcomed the tag out there, and in comes Roman Reigns, and now, once again, it's these two in the ring. How massive would it be if the Shield were to win the tag team titles tonight by having a member of the Shield pin Scott Hall, the undefeated Scott Hall, as a matter of fact? A lot of people say, and I'm a believer of it, if he wasn't in possession of the tag team titles, I think Scott Hall would be a front runner for the WWE Championship. I think him and Randy actually would be an amazing match, to be honest.
That's not good.
I don't know how Hulk Hogan would like that, but
the ref doesn't see it. Well, he was able to reverse and get out
I think
of that.
Dean may have been a little intrusive at the wrong time there on behalf of the Shield.
He was able to reverse that. And he's displaying tremendous viciousness. And there's an elbow drop.
I said before, the motives of the Shield have always been a mystery. We don't really know what these guys came into the industry to achieve. And Roman with a quick reversal there. Very spry against Kevin Nash. Oh. Wait, what? Did I just see a flash of red? Excuse me? What about that busted him open? Rolls over to the corner and a tag out, and both members of the NWO seeing red right now.
Oh, that's devastating. He's going for it all.
Seth Rollins elbow drop to the back. Ooh. You don't see that too often, and actually, I gotta say, it feels like a very effective way to drop the elbow on someone. You think about what an elbow drop to the back would do to you. Right into that spine.
And now his partner comes in.
And comes Scott Hall. NWO actually outnumbered for a change here tonight, and Roman bringing himself in there as Seth had his back turned, and Roman capitalizing.
Superstar if you ever have those thoughts of self-doubt.
That's not. Does he not have the ooh-ah? Oh, that's a shame. I guess it was early Roman. What at the ooh-ah? Oh wait, no, the ooh-ah is a spear, isn't it? What am I doing?
If you're just joining us, welcome to Monday Night Raw.
I think that's his wake-up
I'm Michael
talk.
Cole,
My bad.
alongside the Hall of Famer Jerry, the King Lawler. Big save by the
Kevin Nash.
Watch out here.
Kind of, I don't know if he's seeing things quite right. Did Dean Ambrose just get kicked from ringside for no reason?
This has just been pandemonium.
There you go. Ooh, ah. Doesn't have the sound though. And a big spear across Scott Hall. Cover attempt. And new tag team champions. Yes, history repeats itself between those two. I'll tell you, the NWO never stood a chance here. It's been a long time since I've seen them that dominated.
Winners and new WWE Tag Team Champions, representing the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
What an insane crowd reaction here tonight as these two end a very long tag team title reign of terror. Crowd going absolutely mental for this one. God, I love these games. As we move on, we have new tag team champions. They look just like their counterpart, especially Roman. Amazing character model, by the way. Really good job. As we move on to our main event now, Dolph Ziggler gets ready to face the new WWE Champion, Randy Orton. Well, this is a big main event here tonight. A humongous opportunity for this guy.
Contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Hollywood, Florida, weighing 223 pounds, Dolph Ziggler.
It really feels like a new generation has kind of started here on Raw. From the Divas Champion AJ Lee, the US Champion Cody Rhodes, Tag Champions The Shield, and Randy Orton at the top as WWE Champion. It really feels like, you know, everything's been shaken up. I mean, obviously Cody won the title back at SummerSlam. He's now the longest reigning champion here on Raw. Well, barring Kofi Kingston, who I think also won his title at SummerSlam. But the point I'm trying to make here is, you know, we got these all these fresh-faced younger superstars. This is exactly what the new millennia would have wanted before they split. Or at least that's the agenda they said they were pushing. Legends in the wrestling world no longer being on top. That's right, guys. Randy Orton wasn't a legend. He was an active guy in 2012. Hard to believe, I know. He feels like he's been a legend for a long time. And here we go. The Raw return for the first time in 14 months. Here comes Randy Orton. And what's crazy is the last time he was on Raw, he was holding that title. Well, not that title, but...
Weighing 245 pounds, the WWE Champion, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton.
What a massive full circle moment it was when Randy Orton won the WWE Championship back from the very guy that ended his last reign as WWE Champion. He had a great run over on SmackDown, but I think Raw is where this man belongs. It's where he's been waiting to make his return to, and I think we're in for a great reign as WWE Champion for what I believe is the second time in his career. A lot of people say, actually, I've seen in the past, people say that Randy's WWE title reign, his first one, is a general favorite. We'll see if history can repeat itself. And of course, it's kind of, in a weird way, nice to see that new championship on someone besides The Rock. Ever since it was introduced, he was the only guy to ever hold it. Welcome home, Randy Orton. Here's one guy who has risen the ranks that Orton has not crossed. I'm fairly certain if you look back long enough, you'll find a time that Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler faced off in the past. But the point I'm trying to make is that I don't believe these two have faced off since Dolph Ziggler had this ascension. I would honestly say Dolph Ziggler he's up there. You know, he could very easily beat Randy Orton tonight. I could believe it. These two competed in the four-way ladder match for the Money in the Bank contract just last night. Randy Orton overcame both former holders, Antonio Cesaro from Raw and Chris Jericho from SmackDown, as well as Dolph Ziggler, who, just like Randy, was vying for that Money in the Bank briefcase. And we all thought that Randy was going to use the briefcase to try and get above his ban from the World Heavyweight Championship, but I think opportunity struck when The Rock retained. Randy Orton said, you know what? This guy owes me. I owe this guy a receipt for what he did to me a year ago. I wonder when that revelation came to Randy Orton, if he knew that going into the Money in the Bank briefcase match, that if The Rock retained, he would take that title away from him. As I mentioned before, Survivor Series will not follow the formula it has over the last couple years, I think it is, where it's been SmackDown versus Raw. This year's Survivor Series will follow a more traditional format, as it will be a, you know, we'll be seeing WWE Championship defense, World Heavyweight Championship defense. There will be some traditional Survivor Series styles matches. We've had that confirmed for us. As a matter of fact, livid at their loss, I have been told that the leader of the NWO, Hulk Hogan, has challenged The Shield to a match, a Survivor Series styles match at the event. What a massive match that would be at Survivor Series. The Shield and the NWO. I think that match needs some extra stakes thrown in, if you ask me. Just to make things real interesting. Ziggler with a takedown there to Randy Orton. And my confirmation is that there will be one traditional Survivor Series match from Raw, and there'll be one traditional Survivor Series match from SmackDown. We already have the groundwork of the traditional Survivor Series match from SmackDown. I can confirm that to you right now, as a matter of fact. It has been decided that at Survivor Series, it will be Team Triple H versus Team Sandow, as those two continue their lengthy rivalry with one another. Obviously, JBL may not be able to compete in that if he defeats Robert Scorpio in a qualifying match, but Sandow can find someone else. There's no saying that he'll even use anyone from the Coalition. It's Team Sandow, not Team Triple H versus the Coalition. So, very interested to see how that one unfolds over SmackDown as we find out who will be competing on which teams in that one. And you know, one of the biggest questions on my mind right now, I mean, we could see him tonight still, is what does the future hold for Andre the Giant, the former NXT champion, who has recently been let go from NXT as it was a loser leaves NXT match between him and Big E. Where does he end up? Have we seen the last of Andre? I doubt it. Very much. Huge super kick to Randy Orton. Very impressive move there by Dolph Ziggler. A heads up move, you could say. Rakes the eyes. And what a rough first night back this would be for Randy Orton to lose to Dolph Ziggler here tonight. It is entirely possible. Do not underestimate Dolph Ziggler. You know, right now, we need a contender for the WWE Championship going into Survivor Series. Everything in my gut says that realistically it should be Scott Hall going straight for that WWE title. Now he's no longer tag champ, but perhaps Hogan knew that, and that's why he laid down this challenge between the NWO and the Shield. I know Hogan doesn't want to be overshadowed. Drop to the back of the head of Randy Orton, and Orton and Ziggler facing off. As Press takes down Dolph Ziggler.
After all of these shots to the head, I've got a feeling that Soup's going to be on his diet for the foreseeable future. And that one hurt his hand.
Randy Orton now in a choke out. Dolph Ziggler. Is this going to be the end of the match? Fans seem to believe it. They're on their feet. They've seen enough matches in this way to know it could happen. And he releases the hold.
When you get in control like this, you want to throw everything at your opponent. And that could be what we're seeing here. The tide has turned again. They're going to fight to the end.
No love lost between these two. That is for sure. I'd say damn near strangers to each other, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some kind of tension in that ring right now between these two. And it'll only brew as this goes on. Dolph Ziggler is one of, I'd imagine, very many that will be upset about Randy Orton arriving here on Raw and immediately being WWE Champion. You know, that's the thing is, when he cashed in that briefcase and he made that shift back here to Monday nights, Randy Orton made a lot of enemies because he just cut in front of a lot of people that have been trying to become WWE Champion or that were waiting on an opportunity. And huge RKO The only thankful thing there is I don't think Randy Orton's the type to give a damn, and this one is not over. Okay, I really thought Dolph Ziggler was finished there. Wow. Sending back the arm of Dolph Ziggler, and ooh, famous takes down Randy Orton. Ziggler now. Nope, Randy fired up again, and okay, Ziggler quick to react to that. Smart move. Heads up move by Dolph Ziggler, you could say.
He's in big trouble.
As I said before, this could be a big night for Dolph Ziggler. He defeats Randy Orton here tonight, no doubt about it. A rematch between these two at Survivor Series for the WWE Championship. Mark my words, that would make the most sense. Drags down Dolph Ziggler. Randy Orton finding himself back in this matchup. I was going to say Des Press. Not fair. However, attempted by Randy.
This has been a war. The reversal from Ziggler.
Can be a real mean streak to Dolph Ziggler when he wants to. Recently, he's lost a lot. So this match tonight means everything to him. Cradle DDT to Randy Orton. Cover attempt. Is it over? Is this it? No, just a 2 count. And now Randy Orton. Ooh, dropped with a zigzag by Dolph Ziggler. Has he just pinned the champion? No. Oh, I thought it was close there. That was very, very close to being it.
That was sure a hard landing. A battle of wills now.
Randy Orton, submission applied. Season 4 special. Is it over? I don't think so. Holding that for a long time. Ziggler with an escape. And now Dolph into the cover on Randy and another kick out. Very intensely competitive main event here on Raw. Ooh, stumbled out of the ring.
Back into the ring now. I can't believe everything that's transpired thus far. It's been so physical. We got to
cover attempt here and just a 1.
Orton needs to regroup and fast.
Ooh, knees to the gut of Randy Orton. Dolph Ziggler taking Orton away from the corner here. Is this going to be the finishing point? Nope. Goes in for a cover and just a 1.
This has just been pinned. A textbook reversal. Can he follow up? Ooh, a skull-crushing impact. And he's toast. If you're just tuning in,
Randy Orton.
into the cover, hooks the leg.
Almost at the 10-minute mark in this main event here tonight on Raw. You knew these two were going to go long, though. You knew this was going to be grueling. Dolph Ziggler going to try and force Randy Orton to tap out. And he does. Dolph Ziggler chokes out Randy Orton and defeats the new WWE Champion on his first night as champ. Dolph Ziggler picks up a huge victory. I'm trying to show respect, but Orton not having any of it. Clearly bitter in his defeat. I mean, he came here tonight, a new WWE Champion. A lot of momentum riding behind him, and Dolph knocks it off. Are we looking at a future WWE Champion already? The time may be here. It might be the main event of Survivor Series. Right now, I think it makes sense, but only time will tell. Dolph Ziggler is victorious over Randy Orton here tonight as we move on. Thank you all for watching tonight's episode of Raw. I will see you on the 31st of October. Happy Halloween for NXT. It's definitely not December right now. Happy Halloween.